check. Pow, 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 pow. Unedified what? I hope I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was click the buttons. That's what I did. Hey, there we go. Y'all let me know if I'm coming through okay. This is going to be a great one. This is all going to be about what we talked about last week with Jacob. Man, I went down a rabbit hole with that guy. He sure did, man. I mean, to tell you, this is going to be what we're talking about tomorrow night, almost leading up to it, the book of Jubilees. If y'all downloaded the study guide and took a look at it, it's off the chain. And I appreciate all of my people joining in. Arkansas Gigi, hey, thank you so much for coming in there. Amy, thank you for joining in. I certainly appreciate sound. Does everything sound okay? Does it sound okay? Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Y'all let me know. It's important. Yay, thank you so much. These things matter. Here's another Gigi. Looks like Pi Mac. All right. Jess. Hello from Texas. Hey, Kay, how you doing? I love Texas, man. I worked in Anson, Texas, and I did the Chevron Tower in where's that at? Houston. I sure did. Hey, Georgia Peaches, where this is a laptop account. All right. And then Jeremy, thank you for joining. Amy, there she is again. And just seeing everybody joining. We're getting ready to start talking about when Jacob raised up his pillar, he raised up that thing. It was in Bethel. And the only thing that ever happened in Bethel was just like nothing good. And hello from Alabama. Yeah, y'all tell me where y'all are from, man. I love this because doing great. Hey, Julie, how are you doing? Congratulations. Oh, I got some great news. I got approved for a TikTok shop. I did. And I literally got approved about an hour ago for the Ezekiel's TikTok shop. So I can't wait to go over that with you, but I don't know much about it. We just got it about an hour or so ago. And it'll allow me to tell you, hey, you can go here and click on this, and it won't be directing you away from the site. So it's super cool, man. Let me see. I think I took a picture of it. I was so excited. Yes, I did. Set up your shop. Welcome, Ezekiel. You are a TikTok. Set up your shop. Yay! I am. You know what I thought about? I thought about taking all of the books that I have put into that Bible. Look at this. This is all the books that are in that Bible that I make right here. These are all the books that are in. So I looked at the Ethiopian Bible. And it's got all of the books in it that I have. Except it has 2 more. And it's the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch. Which I have that too. So I was thinking if I were to put this into that big Bible that I make, it would be that much thicker. And then it would have everything in it. And you can say, oh, no, you got to download. That's not. It would have everything in it. But I thought that was cool. I was just like thinking that today. And you know what? I might do that, man. Because that's what they did. And the Ethiopian Bible is exactly what they did. I'll show you. You go to the table of contents and you can see, let me put my finger on it first. You can see Enoch and Jubilees right there. They got every book that I got. They got the exact same books that I got in that big old Bible. Except, on top of that, they have Enoch and Jubilees. And that book, you want to talk about, I'll just open any page. Let me just, Let's open up some work by Greg. Why? Because he loves pictures. Da 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 da. Tell the story with lots of pictures, please. I would like to know more about it. And that's just the way that I do things. So my book, so cool. Because I put the calendar in it that's like the book of Jubilees. I got it. I did it. I put it in the back of it right there. And you can go through each month and know what the celebrations are. Blah, 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 blah. I did it. And then it's got a pocket in the back. This is going to be one of the first things on the TikTok shop. I can't wait. This is the prototype. And then it's been branded. Oh! That's cool. I don't know. I'll get in trouble sometime. Is that the USS Constitution? How did you know that? Man, just by the sails? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is the USS Constitution. Does it include exorcism, please? What? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We're getting ready to make this a thing, and it's Jubilees and Enoch in that calendar. And I was like, this is this and this. The only difference is this is printed on super paper thin church paper that you can see through, and mine printed on parchment paper, which is the skin of skin, man. Well, it's pretty tough. Mankind, man, I can't wait to do this section right here. If y'all haven't downloaded the study guide, let me show you some stuff. Oh, you know what somebody told me to look at today? To look at the Starbucks logo upside down. Does that look like a goat head thing? It does, doesn't it? Let's think in front of that. It just, real quick, does that look like a goat's head? Sort of. It does. I know you can't unsee it. Now you can't unsee it. And people, they send me all this stuff and they're going, have you ever seen the old Starbucks logo upside down? And I'm like going, that one doesn't work. And then I went, ooh, that one sort of looks like a goat. Ooh, it does. Little bah. Jacob, he went and skinned 2 kids of goats and tricked his daddy. We read that last weekend. And Jacob dressed up with the goat skins from the 2 kids of goats. And he tricked his daddy into thinking that he was Esau. His dad asked him straight up. He goes, hey, he lied straight to him. All those people that say, he who blesses Israel is blessed and he who curses Israel is cursed, that's not what it says whatsoever. You go back to that study guide last week, and it says, Isaac thought he was talking to Esau, man, and he goes, hey, are you Esau? And Jacob, the supplanter, he goes, yeah, I'm Esau. And he goes, all right, man. He goes, whoever blesses you is blessed, and whoever curses you is cursed. And, this dude's just cold lying to his daddy to steal his brother's birthright and all this stuff. And, that's who is blessed and cursed is cursed, not Israel. Jacob went on to be just... You can just see right there on the calendar, man, where all the little went wham and into the slavery of Egypt because he listened to the God of Bethel. The God of Bethel didn't even know his name. I would love to get one of these guys that had to know what all this stuff meant in the book and really go, hey, dude, y'all built a pillar right there and then in Bethel, and then that was going to be your place, and y'all didn't do anything else. They don't even mention Bethel in the New Testament. I went way down the road, man, and the study guide that I made is really cool. Where do you get the study guide, and how much is that? I just got approved for a TikTok shop. about an hour ago, and me and AJ were sitting there, yay! We're all jumping around, and so I just got to figure out how to get this and what it'll be so that everybody can sell it too. It's just a TikTok shop link, man. So you can go, hey, I make so much commission, da 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 da, selling this thing, and we're literally manufacturing this thing, buying these right here, and then we brand them, and I use the paper, some of the paper that comes in it in the back, so that you can make some notes. And then all of it has my calendars and stuff. But I can't wait to just figure that all out and stick it all in there and make that. That's just regular paper, black and white. And I think that's very affordable. And then this big old thing right here, I was thinking, well, it's about this much short from having every listed book in the Ethiopian Bible. So I was like, I already got it. Mine's got pictures and all. Mine's so much cooler than that. This has no pictures. I don't care what page you open to. Go. And go. I hate that. Man, you want to talk about, hey, I'm ready to go to sleep. What era do you believe we're in? Oh, man. You know what? I sort of feel like we're in the second death because, the rest of the dead, they live again. I got a chart right here. Right there. We did the 7 seals, and, there's another place where I archive all my work. Oh, I got to show you where the study guide is, and I'll show you exactly where this is. Right here. Let me show you. You have to touch the picture button, and then the plus sign, and then you go right up here and push this one. If you go to my bio page right there and then touch that link tree, you're with me right here at this live. If you touch that link tree, this is what comes up. Right there. You have made my... All right, man, I love that. So glad that... You know what? It's easy. You know what? I bet what he did was just read. And... because that's all I'm doing is like, hey, you gotta read this. So there's all the study guides. This is like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So there's my links. Somewhere tomorrow, I'm gonna have my TikTok shop opened, and that's gonna be cool. And I hope it's gonna be like a link. And how close are we to Revelation? Oh, I was telling you where to go get this map. Telling you where to go. If you go to there. Right there, that's where all my work is archived, and I call it Prey Tree. It's sort of legit to say that, I think, and but let's see. I may have a copy of that. Bear with me. I know I always do because I was just shooting some stuff with AJ's working me like a dog lately. Yes, where's that chart? Ooh, bam. You know what? I had a better one than that. Hang on. If you don't, if you go live, you can't just play a regular picture. It blows it out of bounds. So you have to take your fingers and shrink it and then screenshot it again. So you can think you're on the right picture and then it's not one that's going to show up good. That's a little trick. If you're shooting TikToks, do that. Oh, that's this one. And see, there you go. And what you have to do is squeeze it down and then screenshot it, and then it'll pop right up. But there's the seals. We've been going through them. I did all the trumpets and the bowls. Those were so easy to roll right through it. And somebody just said, hey, where are we? We're right here in the second death. And at the end of the second death right there, that's when Satan is released from his prison. That's the end of 6,000 years. 4,000 BC is Adam right there. That's a real easy one to hit. And then 4,000 to 0 BC is 4,000 years. And then we're 2,000 years past that. So that's 6,000 years. That's the end of the 6,000th year. That's the beginning of the 7th day right there. So just know when that 6th seal, that's where we're at right there. And the devil, he was incarcerated for 2,000 years. And the second one is the second death. He that is affected by the first resurrection is not affected by the second death. What do you know about the prophecies of the chosen one? I don't know anything about it. I don't. I'm sorry. Not that the prophecies of the chosen one. Is that like a book or something? Because I'm just not familiar with it. I really sort of try to stay into the Dead Sea Scrolls and anything that's a listed book of the Apocrypha. I just sort of take with a grain of salt and use them for learning and teaching. But I guarantee you, next, like tomorrow, I'll be able to. I'll have my TikTok shop going. This is going to be so fun. This is going to be so fun. And you can go to that. I told you where that pray tree is. You can go there and get that. How does it correspond with the Hebrew calendar? What do you mean? It is the Hebrew calendar. It's the calendar according to the book of Jubilees. The 12 months is what it is, and it was 12 months. And then it's 4 seasons. And then the 4 seasons, each one of them are 3 months. They each have 30 days, except the first one has 31 days in each instance. So they're 91 days in each season. It makes it 364 days. And then, so each season is 91 days. And the first day in each season, the first day of each month, this one has the 30 days. There's a certain celebration. This one is the first month, and it's the New Year feast. And it's springtime. It actually correlates exactly with how the temperature should be and what have you. And, you know, like the 9th month is 9 means Nav, and Nav means 9. And, man, we've got that all decked out as the 11th month, man. Just crazy how we do that. Share this now if you believe we're in the little season. Why share this now if you believe we're in the little season? Why share this now? I literally just saw this, okay? So this isn't something that I've been sitting on and went, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just get that on out of there. If you see my work, like the study guide and all, if I see something, you're going to hear it about the minute that I get it, and then I'm going to do some kind of study guide with it, and so that you can see what I'm seeing. So it's not like, hey, why are you getting this out there now? You know, at the end of the day, if you think this is the end of the short season, man, I'm a watchman on the wall, and I literally just see things as, you know, sort of match the profile, and I'll go, hey, there's something right outside that you ought to maybe look at. No, I'm up here in the tower, man, and there's a lot of things can happen before it gets up here and gets hold of me. So I'm just sitting up here with the little trumpet. I see something, and you might want to look, man. But it's off my chest, bro. I did the blow my little trumpet, and I'm out. And then if somebody says, hey, it is something, it is something. What do you think about the 2 witnesses? What do you know about the 2 witnesses? I know what I read, and I was telling you about the New Testament Apocrypha. I sort of take that with a grain of salt for teaching and rebuking and learning. And it says all scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching and rebuking. So it says in the New Testament Apocrypha, Gospel of Nicodemus, which we literally read this last Thursday, and we're reading more of it this Thursday at 8 p.m. It says that the 2 witnesses are Enoch and Elijah, and that they were both taken alive so that they could fight the Antichrist in the end days with the powers and signs of God, and that they would be overcome and killed by the Antichrist and left for dead in Jerusalem for 3.5 days, and then they would be taken up alive into heaven to be with him. So I just think that's cool. That's what I know about that because I read it. But it's just made the best sense in the world. Some of these things that you read when it talks about the punishment of Egypt when they were following Moses, man, and it says that 1,000 soldiers died for each one of the infants that was thrown in the river. I like that. That's cool. So much. Where is that from? Which piece? I'm sort of like a montage of comments, but I try to actually talk. You're playing with the wrong information, and God will have the last word. Hey, Michelle, I'm not playing with the wrong information whatsoever. I think you ought to read what some of the things are. You think I'm playing with the wrong information. And these are the Dead Sea Scrolls. They're probably some of the most verified documents on the planet. But, let's just not read the Dead Sea Scrolls for 2.5 minutes. You can read any of the stuff that's in the Bible that talks about where David took the masons and they took and hewed the stones, and then they built to build the house of God. So, we'll just use the Holy Bible. If you think I'm onto the wrong documents with the book of Jubilees, we'll just go right down this road if you want to. I can tell you all about how the gates on the build the house of God, how it's got the gates of brass and iron. Yay, go David, you and the Masons. And a lot of people like going, hey, bro, where are you getting that from? That's Masons. He said those are Masons to hew stones to build the house of God. So don't, you're reading the Dead Sea Scrolls. Hey, you know what? This is much more entertaining than the Dead Sea Scroll in the book of Jubilees. It doesn't say to kill anybody or behead them or any of that stuff. It says that if you make God mad, you're going to wake up dead. And just you do the right thing and you love God, you keep him out in front of you and all that stuff, and you'll wake up in the morning and you'll go, man, daggum, all those people, and they're not here anymore. And that's just how he rolls. It never says, surely this is the mountain of God. You ought to just read some of this stuff, man. Dude's like Holocausting over here. Thou make an altar of stone. Oh, there, Kate, thanks so much. Thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. Thou lift up a tool upon it, it shall be defiled. Okay, what does the Bible say? It's in the book of Exodus right there. If thou make me an altar of stone unto it, do not build it of hewn stone, double dog, dumb barrel. And he put them to doing what? David put them down to do that. And hey, don't just hew them, boy. Get it on. So there's David right there. And what are they doing? This is your Bible. Thank you so much. I don't mean that y'all be telling me to take a breath or whatever in a minute. But David put them stone cutters and the masons to build the house of God. Yeah. There's some really interesting stuff. David, those are masons over there doing that. King David, whatever. Climbed up the Mount Zion on top of the mountain of God, wrote the book of Psalms. He's an interesting guy, man. He sure is. But don't come at me with no Jubilee stuff, man. When they built that first image, the angel was striking Israel down and was floating between heaven and hell. Between the earth and heaven. Was off the ground, and the sword of the Lord was striking down because David didn't want to die, and he couldn't even talk to God, and he's having whatever his name, the prophet, talk to him, and Samuel the seer and all this stuff. So once he found out, he goes, whoa, stop, man, I don't want you to do that no more. And he went and bought the thrashing floor from Ornan the Jebusite, and then I don't know. They were just, hey, thank you so much for the gifts. Do you recommend somebody who is a new Christian to start reading? I would start reading the book of Jubilees. They call it the Lesser Genesis, but me personally, I think it's so much cooler of a version of Genesis that it's not even funny. And I don't have my study guide to give you an example, but I can show you right here in the study guide that we're going to be reading tonight that what I do is compare the book of Jubilees to the book of Genesis right here. It's called the Lesser Genesis, and I just want you to watch the comments when I say this right here. Does anybody in my class think that the book of Jubilees should be called the Lesser Genesis? I just got to see the comments on this. Man, it's got so much more information in it. It is amazing, amazing, amazing. No, it is just super. It is not the little Genesis by any means. It's got so much names and receipts in that. It is not lesser whatsoever. But that's just like the cover. I had it make that cover because it's got like that. We're going to use some Jubilee ink in there. But see, as we go through the book of Jubilees and him stacking the stones and seeing the stairs to heaven right here, Jacob's ladder, this is all in Jubilees 27. Okay, it's the same thing in Genesis 28 right there. And this is him stacking stones and anointing the stones. And I underline the same thing. So the story reads literally the same. And then where Bethel is, later on, you can see in 1 Kings, and that's it printed right out of the Bible. You can see in 1 Kings is where they raise this goofy altar up. And like literally raise these golden calves up, and the King Jeroboam, one of Solomon's descendants, his arm withers when he goes to touch the man of God, and that guy just said, dude, all of this crap's going to fall down, all of this is going to get ruined. And the Watchers, fallen angels, makes sense why it was removed. I guarantee you, man, it cold busts them out. So if you haven't downloaded the study guide, which I just literally went through, go right there to my bio page and then go to my link tree. And then that's going to be where my study guide is. And then this will pop up. And we're on this one right here. Jubilees compared. So what I did was I took the book of Jubilees, chapter, I think 27 we read last week. We're going to read 28 tomorrow. So what I'm doing is taking last week's Jubilees and going, this is exactly what the Bible says happened in last week's study guide, so that when we go into tomorrow's study guide at 8 o'clock, you're going to be like, all up onto it. And the reason that I picked this one is because it's literally when Jacob had a vision of heaven. Should I believe the book of Enoch? Enoch 1 is the only one that was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Enoch 2 through 5 is, I believe, fictional. Everything sort of says everything is God breathed and useful for teaching and rebuking. As soon as you start reading the book of Enoch 2, I can teach you something real quick right there that a lot of those things are just almost blasphemy. But the only Enoch 1 was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the book of Jubilees was found right there with it, with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and all. And Jubilees and Enoch 1 were within the top 10. I think Jubilees was the 6th most popular book in the caves. So where are we in Revelation? I just did that chart. We're on the 6th seal, when the rest of the dead yet live again, and they got out of the ground after 1,000 years. Revelation 20 verse 5 right there. When the rest of the dead yet live again after the 1,000 years are finished. That's where we are. That's what all the knuckleheads are. People say, are we in Satan's short season? And you're like going, no. I don't think that we are. Satan's short season, he gets released at the end of the second death, and that's what we're in. We're in the second death. And it's just people go, well, there's so much madness in the world. And truthfully, there is the rest of the dead yet live again after the 1,000 years are finished. This is the first resurrection. So after 1,000 years, man, the rest of the dead literally crawled out of the ground and, hot dog. There we go. What about the books of the Maccabees and the history of the vase? I don't know about one of the history of the vase, but the book of Maccabees is right there in this book. This book. And this is got the book of Maccabees in it. And you can read all about the abomination, the desolation, the abomination of desolation when it's placed on the altar. Um, y'all know, have you ever read the scriptures? I'm just curious. I just read it like today. So I'm not all the way down this hole. Have you ever read anything to do with that a shepherd is an abomination in Egypt? Have you ever heard that words? It was like Joseph told his dad what to say in front of the king, and he was like going, dude, man, don't tell him you're a cattle rustler or something like that because, a shepherd is a bad thing to be in Egypt. They're an abomination. Anybody ever heard that? Thank you so much. Um, has anybody heard that? Because I just heard. I'm sitting there going, and I, man, I got so much to say about Jacob, and he just, man, he raised up that pillar, and then it was Bethel, and then those dudes never amounted to anything in Bethel, and it was a Canaanite worship center, a pagan worship place where he raised up a pillar and anointed this pillar. It's right there in the lesson book too, and I'm gonna show you. Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you? I'm wearing one of these, and behind me is the shirt just like this, and it's in white. But if I wear white, it you can't see the comments. But Mr. Morris, the guy that makes these at Godsend Church, you see it right there, Godsend Church, and he's right there on my link tree, and you can see he has got this going on right here, and he said everybody that gets one, he's going to throw their name in the hat, and this is what one of the people are going to pull out of that hat. All right, I'm going to pull out of that. I'm going to pull their name out of the hat, and then I'm going to give them that hat, that, cat, rat, bat. Hello, everyone. Kamala Harris. All right. I happened to just look at that one comment. That's got to be to get attention, man. That's almost like, something you would do to just get attention. Good evening. Wow. Hey, good evening. I am so excited. I want a Bible. I know all you got to do is get one of these, and he throws it in the hat, and I think it's like for a whole month. And that's gonna be cool. I think that TikTok shop is going to be my new thing, man. We just got approved for the TikTok shop, and thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That will allow me to sell my wares. And we literally are making Bibles and what have you in here. You can see right there. I got that. I'll be able to, because see, it's their link, and it's not going away from their site. And y'all know how my site gets shut down, like for saying, hey, go get this or go get that. Man, you can go get this right here off of my TikTok shop. And as soon as I get it set up, and it'll be like everything right there. And they would love that. And it's a lot of my stuff I built. You know what that is. It's out of that. That is that. And this is in there. Look at that. There. First book of Powerful Mind. It's got all kinds of stuff in there. All right, group shot real quick before I go on to the study lesson. Somebody told me to look at the Starbucks logo, the old one, upside down, because these don't really do it. And I just want to know if anybody thinks that looks like a goat. Just curious. Because that's what it was like on Mount Moriah where they built the temple and all that stuff. I know it does, doesn't it? If you take that. We'll get in trouble. You can't unsee it. No, you can't unsee it. And the month that they did this, oh man, when Jeroboam in the study guide, you're gonna love this. All right, first off, it's 8:30, so I gotta go. AJ's gonna come in here and say, "Dude, stop it." The study guide is right there. Go to my link tree. right there. Go to my bio page, go to my link tree, and then click on that Jubilees compared right there. That's exactly where we're going. And then it is, boom, that's what's going to pop up. The Jubilees book compared. And then as we go through that, I'm going to show you. This is where Jacob stacks up a pillar in the book of Jubilees right here. And then this is where he sees Jacob's ladder in the book of Jubilees. And then in the book of Genesis, this is where he stacks up the pillar. And then this is where he stacks up the pillar and sees Jacob's ladder and all that stuff. And then this is in First Kings. This was all in Bethel. And this is one of the kings of Bethel that built these golden calves right there where Jacob stacked up those pillars right there in Bethel, which is the same place where he saw heaven and the angels descending while he slept on a pillar. And then when he woke up, he raised up the pillar as an image and anointed the stones at the top of it. So he did that. And when you anoint something, don't get mad at me and don't say, you can't say, when you anoint something, when you say that in Hebrew, that means Messiah. The word for anoint in Messiah in Hebrew is Messiah. And when you say it in Greek, it's Christ. So the fact that he anointed those rocks right there, he had saw the Christ standing above that. So he raised this image and then anointed that. And then King David, he was anointed, and Saul, they were anointed. And David, he like lived on top of Mount Zion. And it's just, he was anointed. He was the Messiah. He was the Christ that lived on top of Mount Zion. It depended on if you were Greek or Hebrew, whatever you said, you would have been saying he's the Messiah. So, thank you. Touch that. I'm going to touch that. I appreciate that. Please, what was it? What was the question? I missed it. I'm going to go into the study guide because AJ said I'm supposed to. Right? No, that's page 1. Good evening, everyone. Hey, please answer. What's that green book? Okay. Right before I get started, tomorrow I'm going to set up my TikTok shop. And because I just got approved for my TikTok shop. And this is all of the book of Jubilees. And I branded it. And I buy these things right here, and then I gut them. And this is my book that I put together, and this is the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch. It's the book of Jubilees, and then you get back here, it's the book of Enoch. And nothing but pictures on every page. And then after the book of Enoch, it's the 364 day with day 0 calendar that is exactly out of the book of Jubilees. So it's got day 0 that makes 364. Day 0 is when the sun rises, and it makes it 365 days. It's actually a perfect calendar, and it's all in there. So that's what that green book is. And tomorrow I get to open up a TikTok shop, and I'm going to take some studio pictures with it, and then we're going to put our stuff on the TikTok shop. Oh, this is so cool because it's got like a little thing in the back, so that you can have like a pocket, and when we take notes in class and what have you and things, it comes with that. I thought that this was really cool. Comes with a page separator and all. I know, and it's printed on just plain old white paper. It is not printed on parchment paper with gold-plated edges and all this stuff. People are saying, man, you got something that we can afford? This thing is crazy. And I'm like going, you know what? That's the Bible. This is the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch. Both of these books were found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Keep it simple, stupid. If you want to read 50 good chapters of the book of Jubilees, it's the Jubilee year, and we're reading one every week. And then you can read the 7 chapters of Enoch, which they're quite long. And it's really, really good, man. I'll tell you, everyone, War and Satan's Short Season. we're in Satan's short season, and the second coming has already happened. Nope. I don't think that we're in Satan's short season. A lot of people think because of all the madness in the world that we're in Satan's short season. But understand that after Jesus Christ was resurrected, that the rest of the dead yet live again after the 1,000 years are finished. This is the first resurrection. That's Revelation 20, verse 5, verbatim. And then right there, that's 1,000 years later. So what people don't understand, I know it is reversed. What people don't understand is they go, there's all kinds of crap in the world. And you're like going, I know. Like the rest of the dead yet live again. So cue into that. And it's the rest of the dead, those knuckleheads got out of the ground, man. And I don't know. I have no idea a quantity on the rest of the dead. But read Revelation 20, verse 5. After the first resurrection, the rest of the dead yet live again. I didn't make that up. And so 1033, Jesus Christ was crucified, 33 AD, 1033, bingo. And it says the dudes that are in the first resurrection are not affected by the second death. And at the end of the second death, the 1,000 years, Satan is released out of his prison, and he will go out and get his butt kicked after he gathers Gog and Magog, and then he gets thrown into a lake of fire. We are 8 years away from that date right there. We were 8 years away from it when I made that calendar up a little while ago, and we've all been going along with it. Will you have the Dead Sea Scrolls in your shop? Absolutely. It is going to be the first thing. This is the 2 Dead Sea Scrolls right here, and this is going to be the first thing in my shop, and it's just going to be this little book. But I don't want to sit here and beat this because I've got to get into the TikTok shop, and they love that. They approved me today, man. I got approved today, so I'm certainly appreciative of what they did for me, and got me approved. And it'll give me a chance to sort of, it's going to be me. You are approved. Yes, I love it. I love it. That's AJ, man. He's gluing. That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. You know what I did? Y'all tell me. Give me your personal opinion. Do you like that branded? Brandon on the back cover, and I sort of have a controversy. Does anybody want to see it on those Bible? What's the opinion? Do y'all like that? I got it worked out how to do it. Perfect. Yes, I do. I got one. Yes, I do. That looks awesome. I thought it looked cool, man. I mean, it really does. What? It was so easy to do. I like that too. I think it's on the back right here. And it's on the back cover, and I just think it looks cool. So let me, I put it on the back. Right there. Greg, go to work. Greg, you're the trumpet. Whatever. Trumpet. I made this. I made that and just and then we're going to study it. So y'all know where to go download it. We already should have been done reading this thing 15 minutes ago. AJ's going to throw me for a loop. The first page is Jubilees 27, and it's what we read last week, and I just sort of want to read through. This is not verse 1 in Jubilees 27. I deleted the other stuff that wasn't about him stacking stones, and it automatically fixed the numbers to 1, so please don't pay regard to that. Just in this lesson, this is the first verses. I deleted like 12 or so verses that weren't relative. So, know that. I'm going to read that. And what I'm sitting in front of right now is the pillars that Jacob raised up after he saw this right here. He raised up an image or a pillar, which was he anointed, making it the Messiah in Hebrew and the Christ. So that's what he did, and he did this in Bethel, and that never became anything. It was never mentioned in the New Testament whatsoever by Jesus or the apostles, so just know Bethel never did anything, and that was where Jacob, i.e. Israel, established himself. Jubilees chapter 27, Jacob raises a pillar and anointed it. Fear not on his account, my sister, for he is on the right path, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful and will not perish. Weep not. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on the account of her son Jacob and blessed him. And Jacob went from the well of the oath to go to Haran on the first year of the second week of the 44th Jubilee. And he came to Luz on the mountains, that is Bethel, on the new month of the first month of this week. And he came to the place at even and turned from the way to the west of the road that night. And he slept there, for the sun has set. I just got to stop right there. He turned from the way, and he was headed to Mesopotamia, so he was headed east. And there's a little trigger right there that he turned from the way and just watched the bad things start happening right here. And he took one of the stones of that place and laid it under a tree, and he was journeying alone, and he slept. And he dreamt that night, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the Malachim of Yahweh ascended and descended on it. And behold, Yahweh stood upon it. And he spoke to Jacob and said, I am Yahweh Almighty of Abraham your father, and the Almighty of Isaac. The land whereon you are sleeping, to you I will give it, and to your seed after you. And your seed will be as the dust of the earth. And you shall increase to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in you and in your seed shall all the families of nations be blessed. I want to see if there's another page of that. It sure is. Let me go right there to it. Let me keep going with this. And behold, I will be with you, and I will keep you wheresoever you go, and I will bring you again into this land in shalom. For I will not leave you until I do everything that I have told you of. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, truly, this place is the house of Yahweh, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, dreadful is this place, which is none other than the house of Yahweh, and this is the gate to heaven. And Jacob arose early in the morning, and he took a stone which he had put under his head, and he set it up as a pillar for a sign. And he poured oil upon the top of it, and he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of the place was Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow unto Yahweh, saying, if, dude, I said these words, man. I said it just like this, and it cost me, I was a millionaire, and my father was dying, and I said, if you'll move that clock, y'all have heard my testimony if you ever had, I said, if you'll move that clock just a little bit, then I'll be the best preacher you've ever seen. And he said, you'll never, ever get to offer me what I've given you. And he stripped everything away from me. And here's Jacob. He's going to read this for you. And Jacob vowed a vow to Yahweh, saying, if Yahweh will be with me and will keep me in this way, that I go and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in Shalom, then shall Yahweh be my sovereign ruler. And this stone which I have set up as a pillar for a sign in this place shall be Yahweh's house. And all that you give me, I shall give the tenth of to you, my Almighty. Okay. Do I need to read you that one verse? Let me see if I can't find that one with don't raise up a pillar. Bro, you know what? I can't get enough of this guy. And it's that. No, that's not the one. Raise up a pillar. Let's make an altar of hewn stone. Jacob should not have raised up a pillar, and it literally everybody and their brother knows it. Let me see if that's it. No, is that it? Whatever. Thou shalt not raise up a pillar which the Lord thy God hateth. That's Deuteronomy, like 20 something. Some creepy stuff in that old Bible. I'm going to tell you something. The way they talked in that old Bible is the Holocaust that they have, the things that are when David, when he was building that, and he set the strangers and the messengers and the masons to build the house of God. These are all masons. These are all stone stackers, man. And whenever they started shaping those stones, that's when you pollute the stone. And he that raises a tool upon the stone, he pollutes the stone. And if thou make me an altar of stone, then to build it with hewn stone, if thou lift up a tool upon it, you've defiled it. So when you don't build it out of hewn stone, and that's exactly what David did, man. He had the strangers and the masons hew the stones. And you can see it in this old one right here. And he appointed the stone cutters to hew the stones and polish them to build the house of God. So, oh my God, they're stone stackers, man. That dude is stacking stones, man. David, he's stacking stones, and I'm like going, what's he got? He's like going, surely this is the house of God. You're like, then he buys the thrashing floor from Ornan, the Jebusite. Let me see if I got the pictures up here. And then he buys the instruments of thrashing. Boom. Pointed. They brought all kinds of stuff. Oh, and he made the gates out of iron. The house of God does not have iron and brass gates, bro. I mean, this is the Bible. Somebody was going, you're reading Genesis? I'm like going, I'll be glad to read the Bible for you. Mine totally makes a whole lot more sense. Never says do any crazy thing like this, man. Says not to do stuff like this all the time. Like totally David raising up his cut stones and his altar with the strangers and the masons. That's David, man. All right. Back to the lesson. We just went from the cover. I just read that one. The stone stackers, that's Jacob. He's the first one, man. And I had a little thing I was asking. He's a original stone stacker. Those are masons. Then you hew them together and you build a house out of it, and you build a city and all. Dude, man, you hew the stones together, you're a mason. I ain't trying to make nobody mad. But we just read, didn't we read that page too? Right there? Yeah. God Almighty. All right, go to the next page. All right, so what I just read to you was Jubilees, chapter 27. And those are the verses in chapter 27, Jubilees. Now we're going to read the exact same thing in Genesis 28. All right? And this is where bro builds up his little pillar. And just see what kind of notices what there you go. Let's block that dude. Block. Boom. I didn't like that guy's. I just blocked that guy, and I didn't like the way he was doing it. I didn't like his name. So sorry about that. Are you okay with me blocking him? He would look like he was aggravating my wife. I'm getting ready to read y'all Genesis 28. This is exactly when he sees all of this stuff. And I just, when somebody's got a name like that and it's sort of, I don't know, man. I don't need that in the room. That's why I really appreciate my page where I archive my work, because you're focused when you're there. You know, there's 200 people in this room, and I know these people are focused. And they're wanting to hear this message, and they're reading the study guide, and people like that are distracting. And it causes even my moderators not to hear the message that I'm trying to teach. And it's not like I say it over and over and over again. I'm like going, you know what? I want y'all to hear it. We're over here arguing with somebody like that, and we're missing the whole thing. So let's read it again, how the Bible is reading, just like Jubilees, chapter 27. And I want you to know that the Bible and Jubilees are reading side by side. They're almost staggered, just like a chapter off. It gets very important because in 2 more chapters, an angel tells Jacob, do not build this place. Don't do what you're doing. And he did it anyway. And it's very clear. I can show you right here in the book. Oh, well. You see that? Do not build this place. The angel told him that clear as a bell, man. And he stacked up his little things. And the angel was like going, bro, the temple is Jesus, bro. And you're anointing this thing. It's Jesus. He's going to walk in and tell you to tear this whole thing down. It's him. But no. Don't let me tell you what to do, man. You build this and you build that. Like God's going to come over here and go, wow, this is really cool, man. You got cedar logs all over here. Yeah. Cedars from Lebanon for me. Wow. Wrapped in gold. Ooh wee. Wonder why he didn't listen. It says David, man, I mean, listen. This is David. He's building these daggum altars. It says if you're going to build an altar, don't build it out of hewn stone. And he just went ahead. It's like he just breaking rules left and right, man. So let me read Genesis 28 and compare it to Jubilees 27 right there. No. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them there for his pillows and laid down in that place to sleep. Is that nuts? Who on earth takes stones and goes, you know what, man, I'm going to take these things and lay down on these stones for pillows? Is that just me, or I've never done that, man? I mean, I've laid on my arm or, my hat or something like that. I just can't imagine what. Hey, I'm going to use these for pillows. Okay, nonetheless. I thought that too. Thank you so much for not leaving me hanging with that high five. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and God of Isaac. And the land whereon thou liest, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. And thou shalt spread abroad to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south, and thee the seed of thy family shall the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all the places whithersoever thou goest, and will bring thee forth again into this land, for I will not leave thee, and I have done that which I have spoken of to thee. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid, and he said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other than but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put up for his pillows, and set up a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, right there. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was Luz at first. Okay, so that's Bethel right there. That's literally, that is what Bethel turned into after David and then Solomon and then his 2 kids. Let me fix my piece of puzzle. Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Okay, we're getting ready to read the story about Jeroboam when he raised the 2 golden calves, okay, right here. And he was going to make a special day on the 8th month, which is Oct, 8 Oct, which is the bull in the Hebrew calendar. And they only call them 8 in the Jubilees calendar. And it is what we call October. So he was going to add the 31st day to the end of that month, and to the end of that, and it's October 31st. So this is this Canaanite thing. This is totally lays out right there as Halloween. We'll read it. If you go to that page on the study guide, go to the trumpet right there, click on that, then go click on the link tree, and you'll see my study guides right there. You sure will. Oh, you know what? It's too convenient. It's right there, and then click on my link tree, and then click on that study guide right there, and it's really, you're going to love this. And then it is literally that page is where we're at. And then this is First Kings. This is Jeroboam when he puts his hand on top of that and he touches the man of God. So are y'all all good with me going forward and reading this, or is there questions? And did y'all see any differences between the book of Jubilees and the book of Genesis? Did y'all see any differences? I thought it was basically pretty close, man. Thought it was sort of cool. I'll keep going because I want to get through this, and then I want us to talk about. I didn't really see any difference in Genesis and Jubilees, so I totally get why when the angel said to him in the same place when he was coming back, and he says, "Do not build this place." Even like that's what Jesus said, man. Jesus said, "Do not tear this place down, man." Daggum, dude. Y'all got that wrong. No, I am the root of David. I am the temple. I don't know, man. Anyway, I printed it out, and if it's in a PDF, so if you download the study guide, you can just zoom into that PDF. But I just thought it was easier for me to print all this, and then I just copied and put it up there. I just wanted you to know this is straight out of the Bible, and it literally leads up to, this is a computer-generated image, and this is the last verse in that 1 Kings 13. But I just want you to read this. Please play. I find a way to get footage. All right, Pamela, I hope that you do. I certainly do. I can tell you we all have things, and that is why we're all out there working and doing. And I can tell you what, you just need to pray to the Lord. And that things, and I don't ask the Lord for things. I ask the Lord, what can I do? And he tells me what to do, and I do those things. And I find out that things happen just right when they need to, and they're not always convenient, man. I mean to tell you, I got skins and bruises all over the place, man. Need some of them patches for my knees, but it's fine. I love it, and it's not in the high casualty zone. So I'm going. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Good. I'm gonna get out of the way so you can see that little thing right there, and then that's where I'm gonna put my head. Y'all like that? 1 Kings 13. Now listen to this story, because this is a trip right here. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name. And upon thee shall he offer the priest of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And it shall come to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, Lay hold on him. And his hand which he put forth against him dried up, so that he could not pull it again to him. The altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given the word of the Lord. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, Entreat now the face of the Lord of God, and pray for me, that my hand be restored to me again. And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored to him again, and became as it was before. And the king said unto the man, Come home with me, and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, If thou wilt give me half in thine house, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so it was charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, Eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way thou camest. And this last line is it. So he went another way and returned not back to the way he came to Bethel. He left and never came back. And that's how they walked into the temple. You walked in one door and out the other. And that's how Bethel was. And it was never anything but a pagan place, and you can just see how they put the stones and polished them and hewed them, and he made those golden calves and raised an image, and that's all those dudes were doing, man, was stacking up stones, raising images, hewing the stones, anointing them with oil, making them the Messiah and all, and it's just, I'm just like, bro. So, I had somebody, they were just sort of pecking on me just a minute ago about the book of Jubilees. All right. So, all right, now that we've read that, is anything different? Y'all read anything different about the book of Jubilees? I almost, it sounds like they were almost word for word. When he said, I will be with you and all, it literally was just word for word. So I'm very excited about the fact that the book of Jubilees, and I've already read through it, so I can assure you there's no, hey, in chapter 40 and blah, blah, blah. It's just one thing that I'm setting you up for, and it's the big difference in the Bible, and it literally is an angel tells Jacob, do not build this place. Clear as a bell, man, right here. And this is what's going to be my new Jubilees book. But you can see right there, it's in bold on the inside of the page, and it says, do not. Ooh, is that lightning? Ooh. It says, do not build this place. It knows it's coming, boy. That's the angel. He was like going, bro, man, what are you doing? Like, no, do not build this place. I know, it's lightning outside. I'm sitting there telling him. The angel tells Jacob, i.e. Israel, hey, you know what? You got a big L on your forehead. What do you mean? Well, your name is Struggles with God? Yeah. You fought with a demon at night? No. He was God. Okay, well, he didn't even know who you were. He didn't even know your name. Yeah. And you didn't know his name. And you do know that every time you see God, just like the 2 times we said that, he said, I am the God of Abraham, your father. He introduced himself every time. Why did they do that? Not allowed to go the way they came? I missed something. When you would go into the temple, it says in like Ezekiel to go in one door. If you go in the south door, to go out the north door. And when you come in, don't go out the same way you came in or something like that. So, I don't know. That's why they had the 4 sides of it. I was reading something about that. And but let me tell you about that guy from God. So he goes on and he's like going, man, God told me not to even eat bread with you people. And this dude, if you read it right there, shoot. 1 Kings 13 is the last page of the study guide right there. Let me get out of the way. Right there, those verses right there. The king, this guy is, the guy tries to leave, and he gets somebody, and somebody said, I saw which way he was going, man. He's going that way. And he goes, go get him, and saddle up my ass, and let me go with the guy. And he goes out there, and the guy says, man, I'm not supposed to eat bread or anything. He goes, I spoke with God, and he said, you are supposed to come home with me. And the guy goes, oh, okay. So then he goes home with him, and the dude dies, and something else terrible happens. And God was like, bro, man, just because some little jackwagon comes out here, told you he defiled my mission. And that's right there in 1 Kings 13. Those verses that they go down, it's right there. It's at the bottom of it. So just read that. And dude, it's a great story. It'd take you 5 minutes to read it. And can we go back to Genesis? I'm not understanding why he saw the angels ascending and descending. Okay. Well, let's get the scriptures. Let's get the scriptures. Because I don't want you to, and I'll read it in Genesis. That way we won't like, hey, man, that's the Dead Sea Scrolls. So let's go right. I think it's like literally right here. I got to catch up. All right. So he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And, Jesus said, no good thing happens in the night, and he that walks in the night stumbleth, and there is no light in him. So everything chills down. When he got in a fight with that angel that renamed him Israel, it was at night. And so he had slowed down. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. He was just having a dream of this ladder, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. So he, right here, did something really weird. Have you ever seen people, like when you stack stones, you make like a ritual ground, or you'll stack the stones around in a circle, or put them in the middle or something like that? That's what he did. He gathered up the stones, and it says he used them for a pillow. Have you ever thought to, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep, and no, I'm going to go outside and find a nice rock to prop my head up on, man. I was thinking that round stone right there would be really cool. It looks very comfortable. No, I think I'd like to put my head on that stone. That's crazy. I mean, who does that? So, this dude, I'm trying to answer this question. And, of course, the squirrel has already run back up the tree. But I don't know why he even placed the stones for the pillars. But he sees this, and then God comes down and says who he is. I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. And he identifies himself, and he calls him out just so he goes, I know who you are, and your seed's going to be like the dust. There's no question. In a couple of chapters, he is the God of Bethel. And I hope I'm saying that right. He's the God of Bethel, and he doesn't know who Jacob is, and Jacob doesn't know who he is. And he has to leave before the sun comes up, and he won't tell Jacob his name, and he maims him and hurts his leg and causes him to walk with a limp and to become lame, and names him Israel. Okay, that ain't God, man. So what does Bethel of Jehovah's Witnesses represent? I don't know. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what they got going on with Bethel, but it is it's nothing. If you go there on Google Earth, it is just a cesspool of, looks like anything else over there. Looks just like everything else over there. But that's where they raised up the golden calves, man. And that wasn't something lightly done. Bethel is where they raised the stones. I don't want to get away from that. I want you to know that tomorrow we're getting ready to read about Laban, and Jacob gets these daughters. Where was the assertion of the angel symbolic to God's communication? But was the ascension of the angels symbolic with God communicating? I believe that it was. And it said that it saw Jesus, or it saw the Lord standing over it. So I think him and I think David both saw the generations of what was to happen to them. And they knew there was this anointed Messiah. There was this
Christ, and it had to be the anointed one. And they knew that it was coming through this line out of the house of Jacob. He probably saw all of that. And they're just sort of knuckleheads thinking, hey, this has got to happen like right now. And David was, oh, it's going to be in my son. Make sure when I die, man, whatever, that Solomon goes around to the Gihon Springs and he's anointed right there. You got to make sure that happens. And, and whatever happens, don't touch my son Absalom. And like going, bro, you're like 1,000 years off, man. And then you got nothing to do with you and your 7 sons. You know where it says in Revelation he is of the 7th, but is not the 8th or whatever it says? Solomon is the 7th son, and that's because the 7th son was given by God and taken away by God from David. So his 7th son, his real 7th son, died. And then David didn't even ask if he could do that all over again. He went in unto Bathsheba, and he just called his own shots with that one. So, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. What was David doing? He was on top of the thrashing floor with Ornan the Jebusite. Are we living in Satan's little season? That is, you know what? I do lots of TikToks on that, man. And let me go up here. I got something. A lot of people think that we're in Satan's little season because of all the crap going on in the world. And I can see why you would say that. It's not that one. I've already practiced this thing. I have to shrink things down so that you can see them in the live screen because they're different on all the other screens. There it is right there. Papa Joe. All right. Here's what gets most people. The rest of the dead yet live again after the 1,000 years are finished. This is the first resurrection. That's literally word for word Revelations 20, verse 5. And so just know that after 1,000 years, the rest of the dead, so he was resurrected in 33 AD. After 1,000 years, the rest of the dead yet live again. Satan's little season happens right there too. It's a little season that he's reincarcerated and released at the end of the second death. It's another 1,000 years. And after the 1,000 years are finished, he will be released from his prison and go out and gather Gog and Magog. But it says that he that is affected by the first resurrection is not affected by the second death. So they're 2 separate 1,000-year periods. And that the end of the second 1,000 years, that's the end of the 6,000-year period, which is the beginning of the 7th day, the first day of rest, the year of rest. So just know that right after that is the 7th day. New Jerusalem is coming. That's exactly right. And so I hope I answered your question. You say, where are we? We're about 8 years away from 2033, which is exactly 2,000 years after he was crucified and resurrected at 33 AD. That's just when Satan gets released. People say, when's Jesus coming back? No man knows the day and the time when Jesus is coming back. But Satan gets released at the end of the second death, and he who was affected by the first resurrection is not affected by the second death. That's what happened. That's a fact, Jack. So that goes with Daniel too, man. Daniel said, from the going forth of the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem, 70 weeks shall be given to the transgression of Jerusalem. Well, that 1451, I did that chart. Y'all will love that one. Was right there at 2031. And then all these things for little seasons. Jesus, he lived for 3.5 years after John was beheaded. That was 3.5 years. And it never says 7 years in the Bible. It says 3.5 years, like a lot. So just know there's a difference. Yeshua comes back right before the little season. Nope. Yeshua does not come back right before the little season. That's not it. He is released for a little season. He comes back at the end of the second death. And by the way, Jesus Christ never left anywhere. Y'all are talking about Jesus' return. Jesus, dude, he returned right after that and was appeared unto many. So it's not like he's, hey, man, where'd Jesus go? I literally knocked on my door about 8 years ago. My dog barked at him. He's well into our lives. Oh, that New Jerusalem thing, that would be cool. Had a nice river in the middle of it, and everything lived because of that. That's Ezekiel 47 right there. And the water comes out from underneath the threshold of the eastern gate, which Solomon sealed him. And it will run over the valley of dead bones and bring life to all that. Go around the Kidron Valley and into the Dead Sea and bring life to all of that. Magic has never been real. Oh. No, I mean, hey, the powers of Satan are real, man. I mean, when they were escaping out of Egypt, when they were coming out of Egypt, and they threw his staffs down, Aaron and Moses, those dudes, they answered back a little bit. But their magic, it didn't last. When did Jerusalem get rebuilt? Jerusalem get rebuilt. We're rebuilding the temple right now, me and you are. Brandon Bott! We're rebuilding the temple right now, man. And New Jerusalem is descending out of the sky. But don't let me differ with you too much, man. I'm literally reading the scriptures, and it says immediately after the tribulation of those days will the sun be darkened and the moon shall not give its light, and we shall see the signs of the Son of Man coming in the sky. And then all the tribes of earth shall mourn. So just know that's when that goes down. But I meant when Daniel said it was rebuilt. When was that? Daniel says that the church will, from the going forth of the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem, and that was Daniel chapter 9, verse, I believe, 12. Daniel chapter 9, nonetheless. But it says going forth. From the going forth, there will be 70 weeks from the going forth of the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem, and 69 weeks. And when it says that, it means weeks of years, which means 7 years. So there's 70 weeks are given to the transgression, and 69 weeks are given until the Messiah Prince returns. And the difference between 70 weeks and 69 weeks is 1 week, and a 1 week is 7 years. So there's a 7-year period right there. When were the walls rebuilt? 1491. I got a little chart. I'll show you. I have a chart for everything. I got to put stuff down like this, man, because my brain don't work good. I got to look at pictures. I'm going to ask y'all as soon as I get my comments, so I can see my comments. I'm going to ask y'all if y'all like my charts or not, because it takes me a long time to do them. And if they're not helpful, I will stop. Do y'all like my charts or not? Because I put a lot of work into that. This is that Daniel. What is it? Daniel chapter 9. Glad you didn't listen to me. There it is. That's from the going forth. I love your charts. Thank you so much. Yes, I love the chart. I have to put stuff like this together. I literally drew this on my phone, like that one, the little one right there. And I'm like drawing these ellipses and then erasing half of it and drawing a line and all this stuff. And my wife was like going, "What are you looking at your phone?" And I'm like zoomed into it, and that writing program. But here is the 7-year difference right there. And that is when Solomon rebuilt the wall gate right there. Solomon rebuilt that. And from the going forth of the rebuilding of the walls, right there is what it says in that scripture. And then that dude right there, he did that work right there at 1541, and 70 weeks later is here, and 69 weeks until the Messiah Prince comes right here. That lands on that. And you know, your mom was saying, somebody said my mom said that we're going to be caught up. Does the Bible mention Jesus' 1,000-year reign? Sure does. Yeah, Matthew 27, verse 52, when the earth did quake and the ground rent and the graves were opened and the bodies of many saints which slept arose and went into the holy city of Jerusalem and were seen by many. So just know that after his resurrection, he came out of the grave and he brought a whole bunch of people with him, and they were all seen in Jerusalem by many. And if you read Revelation chapter 20, verse 4, it talks that he descended into the earth and then locked away the devil, and then he saw the souls of those that were beheaded for the witness of Christ. And John the Baptist is the one that was beheaded witness of Jesus Christ, and it says that specifically. And it says that they were given power, given authority to give judgment over them, and that's King Herod. And that they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. So when he received them out of the ground, and the earth did quake and the rocks did rent, Matthew 27, verse 52, that the bodies of many saints which slept arose and walked through the city streets of Jerusalem, that's when they got out of the ground, and they lived and reigned with him 1,000 years. So they did. And then after the 1,000 years are finished, the rest of the dead yet live again, and Satan is released for a little season. Da-da-da-da-da. Nothing to do with that chart. But there we go. Going down that. What's the 2033 date on your time chart talking about? Well, Jesus Christ was 33 years old when he was crucified. And so that means that when he died 3 days later, he was still 33 years old. It's funny. Hang on. I got to get the chart. I can't do it without it. Push. I'll show you. I'll push this button. So much better. Zoom into that. How about that? Okay. Listen, 2,000 years is how long he's incarcerated. So the first resurrection, he who is affected by the first resurrection is not affected by the second death. That means it's 2 second period. So that's the first resurrection, when the rest of the dead yet live again. That's why so many people think that we've got madness in the world. But that's 2,000 years. So he was crucified on 33 AD, and then 2,000 years later is 2033. What's weird is it says when the rest of the dead yet live again. When that seal broke right there, that's when the locusts and all came out of the ground, and there was a great earthquake. There literally was an earthquake in 1033. There was an earthquake the day Jesus Christ was crucified and resurrected. In April 3rd of 33 AD, there was a earthquake in Jerusalem, and there was an eclipse in Jerusalem, and the sun became black as sackcloth. I'm going to be at TikTok shop in the morning. I'm going to go home. Not go home. I'm home. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to sleep. And I will wake up, and me and AJ are going to find out what we're going to do with this. We just got approved. We get this. We are a TikTok shop. Bam. That is my take. Welcome to the TikTok shop. All kinds of stuff coming. There's the trumpet book. Dun, dun, dun. Is that the coolest logo? I branded that, man. I got a little thing and heat it up, and then I branded my Bible. We'll be able to sell these things on the TikTok shop logo on their thing. I gotta get an opinion. Is that okay to put that big Bible that we make? How do you know he died in 33? In the Bible, Luke and John said he was about 30 years old. What verse is that? What verse? Put that verse up there. But he was 33 years old when he was crucified. And ironically, you can find a lot of things with 33 because they try to mimic. But David, he ruled over Jerusalem for 33 years. That's because he was a king over Hebron. I was asking a question. Do y'all like that right there? Do y'all like that brand? Would that be okay to put on the back of my Bibles? Hold on, I'll show receipts. All right, go ahead. I'm not dying. And Jesus was 33 years old. Yes. Jesus was 33 years old. And I love that logo. And this is what I use it for. This is my Jubilees, my book of Jubilees right here. Little page holder. And book of Jubilees. Bang. People say, I want the Dead Sea Scrolls. I love all these pictures, man. I'm a picture guy. I love them. And then it's got the book of Enoch. There's Enoch going through the firmament right there. That's the last picture in that. Then it's got some paper so that you can take notes. And then it's got my calendar, the Jubilees calendar, which has a perfect year. All right, y'all pin that related comments. It's got Jesus was 30 years old. Or it might if it said like about 30. So I won't see that. And this calendar is one I made. It's got each season, and it's just perfect. And then it breaks down each day, too. I mean, each month. And they're perfect. It lines up perfect. If your birthday is on this day, it's going to be that day every year on that day. And then in the back of it, it's got a pocket so that you can put your notes. And then you can seal all your work up and take your trumpet. Book of Ezekiel, book of Enoch, and the book of Jubilees. I know I made that. And me and AJ manufactured that. I created the content, and then we book and got that. We had to buy these things and then gut them so it gives us a good, nice cover. And it's a nice hardcover book, man. And we're looking forward to that being our first thing on the TikTok shop. And it's on just regular paper and printed in black and white. And it was more of an affordable thing here. And, all right, hold on. King Herod the Great died in Jericho years ago. Oh, is that where you're trying to say where Jesus' age was? Yeah, you know, King Herod and the way they play with the calendar and all that stuff. That's just the way they did. You know what? I'm going to have to say that I had a pretty clear thought that Jesus was 33 years old. So I just want to know, somebody got the exact line that 33 years old is on, or where his ministry was 33 years? I can tell you so many people tried to copy that whole deal with their 33. I'll get one. Oh, I know. I can't wait for the TikTok shop, too. It says like they've financed stuff, too. I can't wait. What if I even say that now, like, hey, go to over here and get that or what have you? Their AI, they'll blow me up, man. They have already thrown me in the trash can 100,000 times. And they do. They'll shut my lives down and all that stuff if you say, hey, go do this. And so I can tell people to go to my link tree. And all of my stuff is on my link tree. And I was so glad to get to do this study guide right here. Because what's coming up is the next chapter in the book of Jubilees. And I want you to go get that. I want you to go to my bio page, and I want you to, it's right there. Go to my bio page and then click on my link tree. And then it's right there. That's what we're going to be studying tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And then that's Thursday night. That is the thief on the cross right there. Click on that. And the thief on the cross, whenever they were going through Matthew 27, verse 52, when the rocks did rent and all that stuff, and the bodies of many saints which slept, they walked through Jerusalem and were seen by many. Thief on the cross, one of the dudes right there. And it's chapter 10. And they go into the paradise and like going, bro, man, where you been? And he's like going, they told me you're going to ask me, man. I got the mark of the cross on me. And boy said I was good. And they were like going, who? They're like going, JC, man. They're like going, man, you got your cross mark? All right, check. So that's right there. That's the New Testament Apocrypha. And that's right there in my dad's old Bible too, man. That old Bible from that Prince James version, it tells you that... It tells you the New Testament Apocrypha. This thing is falling apart. But I don't want you to think I'm just reading you, comic book sections. You get in the back of this Bible, and this Bible has some of the maps that are included in that big Bible that I make, and they just show you right there. There's the Apocrypha books of the Old Testament. And right at the very end, it says Enoch and Jubilees are to be enumerated amongst the holy documents. You are echoing bad. How about that? Did that fix it? You know what? I'm deaf, and when I talk into here, I can hear myself, but I have to turn it up. Now you're not echoing at all. Okay. What happens is I had to turn this ear don't even work. So that my headphones, fortunately, I get to turn them up wide open, and it just helps me. But when I set my headphones down, they're right there by the microphone. I jump up, and it just gives me a hard time. Let's go. Let's get 13,500. What? What was that? God let 13,500 children die today. And in what message is that you're trying to get off, and how did that happen? Yeah. Let's just see what happens here. Well, 13,000 children died today. And God used angels as an inspiration for animals. Would you agree that God used angels as inspiration for animals? It said, let us make them in our image. So I can imagine that they were the inspiration for not only man, but probably the animals as well. And that we all were of one language and taught to each other. So I'm sure they had some type of inspiration to say, hey, it wasn't until like Adam sinned or something that he shut off all the languages. That's the average amount that die each day around the world. I just wondering, what was your point? What was I understand that number. That's the average amount of people that die each day around the world. What was your point? Was there a good thing about that, or was that a negative thing about that? I just, I don't understand why you don't try to keep the light in everything. Not people, children under the age of 5. Well, that's just a wonderful statistic. Children under the age of 5. Okay. 13,500 children under the age of 5 died. How much do you think they've lied to us and keep us blinded? They cut all the books out of the Bible that really mattered. I mean, they cut the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch right out of the Bible. So, I guess, when my moderators, when they pin something, I should pay attention to it. I do not speak Hebrew. Love your content. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. People sit there and kick that doom news crap, man. Explain this. I don't know. Explain why Jacob, Israel, raised a pillar, and explain why nobody said, hey, bro, why are y'all in Jerusalem, man? Isn't your crap over there in Bethel? But can't say that. Gosh. They were God's chosen people. No, it says he who blesses, it doesn't say he who blesses Israel is blessed and he who curses Israel is cursed. It doesn't say that. It was Isaac talking to Jacob, which was ultimately named Israel, right after Jacob lied through his teeth and told his daddy that he was actually Esau and was wearing goat skin so that he could deceive his father into stealing the blessing that his brother was supposed to get. That, how much do we know? That's what he did. So how do we know the books aren't in the Bible? How do we know the books that aren't in the Bible are biblical? Well, we just read Genesis 28 and Jubilees 27, and they literally read almost word for word. And both of those books, Jubilees and Genesis, were found in the Dead Sea Scrolls after being sealed away for thousands of years. So it was one of the most studied and reviewed, I say it. The Dead Sea Scrolls have been some of the biggest scrutinized work by some of the most professional people and they don't have any problem. What do you think about the trumpets of Jubilees? I think we are blowing the pieces out of them, and we have broken the sixth seal, the fifth trumpet, and I think the fifth or sixth bowl. Right there. I agreed. We got them. Anybody that's taken did anybody take that on my Patreon page? Did that ooh? If anybody took that class or those seals and all and saw me explain them, I mean, once you see it and you sort of line it up, you go, oh man, daggum. So did anybody do that? I'm seeing the comments, but no video. I think I missed an earlier message. Jubilees read like Revelation. No. Jubilees reads exactly like Genesis does. I don't think anything reads like Revelation does. I don't think one book reads like Revelation. Jubilees reads exactly like Genesis and half of the book of Exodus in 50 chapters. All of the 144 have been born in Israel. Well, it should be. Dude, I appreciate how you were talking about the seals and the trumpets. I was, and these trumpets right here, they announced the seal. So what happens of the seal right here is announced by the trumpet, and then the bowl of wrath, that's what happens in that period. So a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. Here's the seven seals. It's 7,000 years, and or 6,000 years, and they pop that seventh seal. That's the beginning of the seventh day. So that sort of lays right out. As Jubilee reads like Revelation. Does not at all. It does not. It reads exactly like Genesis and Exodus, about half of Exodus. One thing that it does say a little bit different, it tells you if you look up what books were written by God and what works were written by God, you don't get to take the Holy Bible and go, this is the Word of God. This is the word of a bunch of people that were inspired by God. The only thing that God actually wrote was the 10 Commandments in the book of Exodus. He wrote them with his fiery finger, and it says that they brought down the tablets and the Torah of the commandment, and that is the book of Jubilees, and it says right there on the first page in the very first verse that God wrote the book of Jubilees, and he gave it to Moses so that you could teach the people with it. So you use the facts open my mind like somebody gave me the key thing. It opened my mind too. And I want you to tell you, while I've got this last little bit, these things are opening my mind right now, like the calendar and like these things in Daniel and these charts, because I have been respecting and honoring the Sabbath. I know it's true. And but one thing Jesus taught on the Sabbath, so I may come out of my opening and teach on the Sabbath because I've been putting my phone down on the day before the Sabbath, which is at sundown. And just know the Sabbath, this Saturday is the Sabbath. And just know that sundown on Friday is the end of the day Friday. And that the beginning of the Sabbath or the beginning of Saturday starts after the sun goes down on Friday. When the sun goes down, the day is over, it's over. And I thought the 10 Commandments were given by messenger. Did I misread it? Yeah, they were given, no, they were written by the fiery finger of God. Yeah. And then it also says right there in the book of Jubilees that Yahweh said to Moshe, come up to me on the mountain, and I will give you the tables of stone and the tablets of the Torah, which I have written, that you may give them to teach the people. And it says, and it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Israel, out of Egypt, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month, Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, come up to me on the mountain, and I will give you 2 tables of stone of the Torah and of the commandment, which I have written, that you may teach them. Which I have written, that you may teach them. There's nobody said, man, that whole page, that's not right, that's not anything. No, they all came to the Dead Sea Scrolls. They all came to Qumran. They all found Genesis, Exodus. They all found all the books of the Bible, and they went, "Yeah, man, they all read just alike. Been that way for thousands of years." So that's what that says. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait for tomorrow because we're going to go be talking about Jacob, and he goes on to Mesopotamia, and he has to work and labor for these two women, and then he comes back, and this is when he really sets them up. What kind of man? When he fears that his brother's coming to kill him, because his brother said, when my father dies, I'm going to kill you. And he says, hey, man, go tell Esau I'm coming back. And they said, he's coming to see you, man. He's coming, and he's bringing 400 people with him. And yeehaw. And we're going to read all about that. And what kind of man says, all right, set my women and children up in front of me and the cattle and all of this stuff, and divide me up so that that they'll get hit or hurt first, and if they make it all the way back to me. And finally, he gets back to the very back position, and he tells his women and his wife and his children to stay right here, and he goes across this certain place, and he has another dream, and he raises up another pillar and all this stuff, but he's completely separated himself from everything, and he has put everything that he has to be destroyed by his brother or captive by his brother. And I'm just wondering what kind of man turns around and goes, all right, set all the women and children up front with the cattle and the lambs and all that stuff, and to let them get taken over. You got to wait for the star to move, don't you? Yeah. Nice. Come in here and change that. Well, you know what? We've had just a great evening, and it's almost 10 o'clock. But I want to tell you what I did. On Saturday, I've been shutting my phone off, which is from Friday night at, it's about 8 o'clock when the sun goes down. So I shut my phone down. As soon as the sun went down, I put my phone down. I want you to follow along with this. I put my phone down, and immediately I didn't have anything to draw me into that black hole. And I set my phone down. I went in there, started, hey, let's watch a movie, let's do something. Went to sleep, which was easy to do without your phone. You wake up, 6 o'clock in the morning if you're anything like me. And then I started reading my Bible. And I read all of this, dude, all through Genesis about Jacob and the pillars. And I just read all the way through what he did. And just so that I could add this fortification. And, Jacob goes into Egypt and goes to meet with his son Joseph. And Joseph names one of his sons Manasseh, which means to forget my father's house. And then he ultimately duped all of the Hebrew people into slavery by buying all of their possessions with bread and not even seed. And that's what Joseph did to his own people. And he forgot his father's house. And then when he finally owned all of their stuff, he released the seeds and said, give me a fifth of everything that you grow. So Joseph did that to his own people, man. And when Joseph died, they lost control of the monarch, and a new king came into Egypt and enslaved all the people. And they should have listened, man. He said, I'm going to give this land to you. God did. And the God of Bethel is the one that told him to go down into Egypt. So he should have stayed right where he was, man. He had that whole promised land that was promised to him. And said, I'll give this to you and your children. And then he listens to the God of Bethel that doesn't even know Jacob's name. And then he listens to the God of Bethel that doesn't even know Jacob's name. Jacob. And he's working at night, and he who works at night has no light in him. And what you got? Come on, little boy. You were going to say, hey, Dad. Oh. Come on. Come on, Panda Man. Himbo Pizza. He's a good boy. Arlo. Dad, I want some. Arlo's eating spaghetti today. He eats whatever I eat, and Arlo's my hearing aid dog, man. So he was eating spaghetti today right off the fork. And Arlo is a good boy. He is 4-pound Yorkie poo, and Arlo, he's named after that runt dinosaur. He was the runt of the litter, and he's named after that runt dinosaur, Arlo. And on the children's movie, all my grandkids watch that, and he was the little runt, and nobody wanted Arlo, and he ended up, and none of my grandchildren, even the littlest one, nobody's scared of Arlo because he's just 4 pounds. So that's what we love about him and he works with everybody, tells me what's going on, loves to ride around on my shoulder. He can't stand these bright lights. They do sort of drive him crazy, but he don't like the bright lights. But if we're without these, he literally will just walk around the house with me on my shoulder for hours. And he'll work with me if we're in there building Bibles or whatever we're doing. Arlo sits on my shoulder, but he can't stand these array of lights. And he gets down there and he makes his bed, man. He sure does. So y'all go get the study guide for tomorrow. It's right there on my link tree and my bio page. I can't wait to get to be a TikTok shop. I'm approved. And I get to find out the things that I can say and the links and the Old Testament requirements, term versus 10 Commandments were given. Old Testament requirements, term versus the 10 Commandments that were given. I'm not really sure if I understand your question, but we were given the 10 Commandments. And one thing I'll say about the 10 Commandments, Jesus told the Pharisees, he goes, Moses gave you the law, yet you still seek to kill me. And they gave him the 10 Commandments that says, thou shalt not kill. But what happened was, the Pharisees and the Leviticus priests and all that stuff, they ended up writing the additional books of the Bible that allowed them to come up with the Pharisees' laws that could allow men to judge other men and men to stone people to death. And in the second book of the Bible, it says, thou shalt not kill in Exodus. And then, do you believe in pre-trib rapture? I'm going to answer that in just one question. And then in the third book of the Bible, it says, well, you can do some stuff. And we can kill you. So just know that God wrote thou shalt not kill, and that those dudes, Leviticus priests, are it. Do you believe in pre-trib rapture? I'm going to say it to you exactly the way Jesus said it in Matthew. And he said, and these are his words, not mine, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the sign of the Son of Man shall be seen coming in the sky. And all of the tribes earth will mourn, and they will see Jesus coming in the sky. I tried to read that word for word from memory, but it does say immediately after the tribulation of those days, and it does say after that, it says all of the tribes of earth will mourn. So just know that, apricot toy poodle, his name was Buddy. I love that. I love little thing. I've always been a big dog guy. But I would have to say that, I don't know how you want to hear that if I'm pre or post or whatever. Jesus said immediately after the tribulation, so I think that's post. But the people they want to be, no man, I'm going to be vacuumed up in the first crowd. I'm not part of all of the tribes of earth. It says immediately after the tribulation, all of the tribes of earth will mourn. I'm man, my grandma was an angel, bro. I mean, you're not beating her up there. And it says all the tribes of earth will mourn. And then it says the sea will give up its dead, the earth will give up its dead, the dead will give up its dead, the dead. And then they're all judged, man. You're all caught up. You're changed in the twinkling of an eye. You're either accepted or rejected. Bam! And then you're put into the good thing, and then the New Jerusalem comes down. You don't want to be on the earth anyway. It says the new earth and the new heaven are passed away. The old earth and the old heaven are passed away, and there's no more sea. So that's going to be a whole mess. Going to be a messy place when you have no more earth, no more sea, no more heaven, and the New Jerusalem, for there is a new heaven and a new earth. That's Revelation 21, man. We know this. We know this. Revelation 21, for the first earth and the first heaven were passed away, and there was no more sea. I think it's post. I don't think it's post, man. It's like immediately after the tribulation of those days. Those are Jesus Christ's words, man. So if you argue with that, you're like, I'm arguing with Jesus. Oh, okay, hot dog, that ain't going to work out with you at all. Matthew 24, something like that. Yeah, Matthew 24:29. Immediately, these are all in red, bro. Right there. See that? Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall, you and me, all of the tribes of earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And so these are red. This is Jesus Christ told you immediately after the tribulation. So the most I'm confused about is going to be a spirit coming down like a man. What, in a machine? A spirit coming down in the shape of a man. It says he that rolls over in the fire, the angels that roll over in the fire can appear as men when they want to. And we know in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, when the Nephilim descended, the angels descended onto the daughters of men and they mated with them. They appear as men. So just know it says that you never know if you've talked to an angel, because surely you've had conversations with an angel and not know it. Be sure to go to this link in the link tree to subscribe to all of his other platforms. Now, hey, Mr. Morris, I got accepted into the TikTok shop today, and I think that's going to be a big thing for us because we can actually talk about it, and it's going to help me with these things going out there. Mr. Morris is the guy that prints these shirts, and he is the one that bought this 12-pound Bible. He got that. And he said, everybody that gets one of these, or one of the other ones, or one of those, or any of his shirts, that he's going to put their name into the hat, and then we're going to draw it out at the end of August, which is like 33 days from now. 33. And he's going to give that Bible away, man. Crazy. I don't know. If you were here and you had heard the word of the Lord, take heed. All right, it is super cool that he did that. It is super cool. He is awesome, awesome, awesome. But Mr. Morris, I think we get to see, if I tell somebody go here or go there, they shut me down immediately. And if I tell somebody go buy this or go buy that, they get shut down. But I got approved for a TikTok seller, and I'll show you real quick. Right there. Touch it. That's right. That'll be me. I'll have a store, and I can put all of my work and my books and all my stuff on that so that you can own the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch too. And they will endorse it, and other people too can take this link and sell it and earn commissions and stuff like that. And here's what I was thinking. If I took Enoch and Jubilees and I added these two books to this, that's the Ethiopian Bible, man. So that is this. But this one, it has no pictures. I don't care what page I open it to. There's no pictures in this one, boy. They have strict policy there. You print a book and you no pictures with you. So it's got every book that that's got in it right there. It's just mine's on 24-pound parchment paper, And it weighs 12 pounds, man. I mean, it's got $200 worth of paper in it before you even print something on it and glue them together and all that stuff. I want one. I do too. I have one. Oh, you're hearing the echo again? Sorry. That's because I'm deaf, and these things play so loud that they probably hear my headphones in the next room. And because, like, my left ear don't work. It's getting near 10 o'clock, and I am going to go back in there and eat me a little bit more spaghetti, and then I'm going to go to bed. Tomorrow night, we're going to do chapter 28 of the book of Jubilees. Jacob is raising his pillar. He's going to Mesopotamia. He's going to get his wives. He's going to come back, and then the big difference in the Bible is, man, the angel tells him, do not build this place. And it's funny that Jesus Christ came up with the same advice and said, bro, man, I am the temple thereof. And I just know I hope there is no tsunami headed toward Hawaii. What time? 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. I do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And all the study guides are already loaded up, man. So when we do 8 p.m. Eastern, let me show you real quick. You can go get the study guides. And, see, y'all are at the 8 p.m. show tonight. And then if you go to my link tree right there, that's good. That's what we did tonight, and that's tomorrow night is Jubilees, another 6 or 7 page study guide right there. And then this one's really cool, man. That's the Thief on the Cross. That's the New Testament Apocrypha, Gospel of Nicodemus. Ooh, you're gonna trip out on that, man. And that's gonna be Thursday night at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. That's what it's gonna do. All right, we're going to do it 10 o'clock, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Probably go live in the morning or something like that. I love y'all. Come drink some coffee with me, and we'll see you then. In Jesus' name, y'all like and follow us for more, and y'all have a blessed day. Touch a button. I'll put this one.